Hey, what's going on YouTube? Welcome back to the channel. So today I'm going to use this Duralast kit to bleed the brakes on this RAV4. Let's get started. So this kit basically allows one man to do the job. You don't need a second person to press on the brake. So this should be fine because I'm alone. Now to test and make sure, you need to replace the fluid. There is usually testers for it, but I don't have it, so I'm just gonna use a multimeter. I also picked up this .3 Prestone brake fluid. I heard good things about it, so I'm gonna give this a try. You also want to make sure that your car is compatible with .3. Some cars use .4, so you don't mix different types of fluids. For this car, you're basically gonna pop the hood, and the brake fluid reservoir will be right here, as you can see. But this small panel can be removed so you have more clearance, just like this. All right. So you're gonna open the reservoir. You want to make sure it's clear of any debris. You don't want this to be contaminated. Next, you're gonna put the multimeter on voltage, because you need to see a reading of less than 300 millivolts. You could still replace the fluid if it's close to 300 millivolts, but basically that's the reading you want to see, so you know you need to bleed the fluid. All right, next you're gonna put the prongs, the negative lead, on some bare metal. You need a surface that is not painted. This is a good place to put it. And then the red lead is gonna go inside the fluid, and then you're gonna read what the multimeter says. Alright, so as you can see, we have 0.363 volts or 360 millivolts. So we need to bleed this fluid because it's contaminated. Alright, so let's get started. There is no clearance, so I'm gonna have to remove the tires. I usually spray a little bit of WD-40. That's why it's so important to keep them protected. So you're basically gonna start bleeding from the furthest away from this part right here. So that's gonna be basically the rear passenger side. So this bleeder valve would be the furthest away from the cylinder. So we're gonna start bleeding from here. And then the second is gonna be rear driver side, and then it's gonna be the passenger side, and then the driver side. So let's get started. So this is what's included in the kit. You have a reservoir. This is kind of small, probably gonna be a lot of back and forth. And then you have a longer hose, two shorter hoses, a magnet, and 3 fittings. The long hose goes right here. All right, and then you're gonna put the magnet right here. This is gonna go onto the bleeder nipple, and then you will just stock this somewhere higher than the nipple to make sure that gravity takes care of the bubbles. And this can just go anywhere onto metal. And when this fills up, you're gonna have to unscrew it, dump it out, and do it again. So remember that brake fluid is corrosive. You're gonna have to recycle it according to local laws. Don't just dump it. All right, so let's get started. Before pressing on the brake to start bleeding, you're gonna make sure your reservoir never runs dry. So you're gonna fill it up with the brake fluid. All right, so you're gonna put enough, because as you press the pedal, this level is gonna go down. And also remember, this is very corrosive. You wanna try not to get it on the paint. All right, just like this. Now with an 8mm wrench, you're gonna crack this loose carefully. Alright, as you can see, the fluid is coming out. Now I'm gonna press the pedal, brake pedal. As you can see, it's going into the reservoir, but the most important thing is to keep checking the reservoir in the engine bay. It should never run out of fluid. Alright, went down a little bit. I'm gonna add more. You can crack it a little more if it's too slow. You're gonna floor it all the way slowly. It's gonna go all the way down. Gonna release and check. Alright, we are halfway. It's floored. This one is gonna take a little longer because it's the longest line. As you can see, we're getting there. Reservoir getting lower. I'm gonna add more. All right, so I'm gonna remove it. And then I'm gonna dump it into a bigger bottle and do the same thing again. All right. Alright, so I did this quite a few times, and as you can see, we're starting to see the clear fluid right here, meaning that the whole line from the cylinder in the bay all the way to here, it's now filled with brand new fluid, and the brand new fluid is now coming out here. So we're basically gonna go ahead and close this nipple and move to the next one. Alright, we're done with this one. Gonna put the protector back on. That's good. Alright, now we just moved to the driver's side rear. Now I'm gonna crack this loose. Just like this. And then I'm gonna repeat the same thing multiple times until I have some clear fluid in here. This already doesn't look bad, but I'll give it a few flush and see. It's still some bad fluid. Let's keep going. Alright, so let's dump this and do it again. Alright, so it looks like we are good. It's starting to get clear. I'm gonna go ahead and dump this, and then we're gonna move to the next line, which is gonna be the passenger side front. Alright, now we are at the front passenger side. Let's do it. The closer you get to the cylinder, the faster it is. This one is already clear. So let's move to the last part. That's gonna be the driver's side front. And we almost used up the whole bottle. Let's go. We are all set. We have the clear hose ready to go. Now I'm gonna close this. And then I'm gonna remove the hose. I will empty this into the second bottle. Alright, so we are all set here. I'm gonna put the cover back on. And now we only have about 2 fluid ounces left. And here is the bad fluid. As you can see, we have a bottle and some really black. I really needed this job done, and now it's done. But a quick tip, remember to top off the fluid reservoir. If you let it run dry while pumping out the old fluid, you're gonna end up a lady just crashed to the other side, but no damage, just the tire. Anyway, so the quick tip is basically to remember to top off the fluid, otherwise you're gonna end up having to buy a brand new bottle and keep doing it until you get the air out, because when the reservoir runs dry, it just sucks air into the system, and you don't want that. So yeah, now I'm gonna go ahead and put the tires back. For the missing rubber boots on the brake bleeder valve, I decided to 3D print some plastic ones using TPU filaments, and they don't look too bad. I only need 2, but I printed them in multiple sizes just in case it doesn't fit. So let's test it. This looks like a good size. This looks like a good size. Alright, so these ones are a good fit. I just have to remove the wings. Didn't need those. Now these are gonna do the trick. Alright, that's good. Now on the other side. So we are all set. All right, and just like that, we have successfully bled the brakes on this RAV4. If you have any questions, drop it in the comment section. Thank you for watching. See you on the next one. Peace.